Right now, Teddy.
I've always wanted to interview the amazing Kreskin. The man who spent most of his life, I believe, in show business and also radio and television.
They just announced, Teddy, that was 2.5 years ago, when it was mentioned on a couple of news shows just a few days ago. As of 2 years ago, I've flown in my career a little over 3.5 million miles. Eastern Airline, recently I was boarding the plane.
So tell me, where haven't you been?
There are a few places. Oh, I was scheduled. That was the thing. The Russian government came to me. They'd seen me at some country Western show that I had done. And they toured, some years ago, I was to tour Russia. And I'll never forget our Christmas Eve together when my secretary and a dozen other were sitting around the piano and we're talking. She says, "My God, thank God the timing was right." It turns out, just a few days before I was to leave, the Iron Curtain came down, and there were people that I know in CBS Network in Russia that couldn't even communicate out of the city for days and weeks, and I would have been stuck there. So I didn't get to Russia. Now, people have said I've been on Mars and in other places. We don't talk about those.
When I was a kid, I used to watch your show religiously.
That was on
Amazing Kreskin.
Yeah, it's on the internet now. You can see a couple of dozen versions. Yeah, I did 88 Carson shows. Every time I do Jimmy Fallon, we talk about Carson.
Would you say the greatest talk show host ever, Johnny Carson?
Well, he was fabulous, but he knew what was going on, and I did a lot. Mark Griffin was extremely, but I've enjoyed the work because it's the exciting thing right now is, and anybody who's listening, I'm sorry if I haven't written you. I can't get to the thousands who've congratulated me, but I thank everyone. We announced just a few months ago, and it's exciting. The motion picture is now being written on my love story for regular motion picture. In fact, they're all asking me who's going to play me, and I don't want to even theorize, but I've asked them to keep some of my childhood out of it so we don't go to prison. Isn't that exciting, though, to have a motion picture done?
How did you develop the show, for those people, you worked The Amazing Kreskin? How did that
Well, I knew what I wanted to do when I was 5 years old, and I had a comic book handed me. It's called Mandrake the Magician, a very famous comic. It was banned in Italy in the Second World War. They went to Napoleon and said, "Hey, listen, the people here love this every Sunday as much as the others." So he had someone rewrite it. The man that rewrote, it's not known publicly, the man who rewrote Mandrake for Italy was Fellini. And one of Fellini's great failures, one of the great failures of his life, one of the greatest directors, was he never found a way of doing a movie on Mandrake, because Mandrake, they didn't have trick photography. He wasn't a magic act. He controlled people's minds. He read their thoughts. And the man who wrote him was Lee Falk. And 30 years ago at Sardis, they were honoring Lee Falk. And by now I was well established. So he said, "Why don't you come?" So I walked in and Lee Falk says, "Well, I know you, Kreskin," and so forth. So they interviewed him about the 2 cartoons he created, the Phantom and Mandrake. And in the middle of the day, he stopped all these professors and researchers and said, "I want to stop and tell you, it's one of the great moments of my entire life." He said, "The only person that's come closest in real life to being truly the character I created is Kreskin." Can you imagine a moment like that?
Amazing.
We got to talk more.
Let me ask you a question. Who's your favorite magician?
Well, I'm not really that much into magic and so forth. I would like to do a documentary drama on an hour on Houdini because of the people I knew close to him, including the man who created The Shadow, Walter Gibson. Had Houdini lived 2 more years, he would have gone to prison for many years. And that's not known why, but it's a dramatic story. But I not that much. I always admired Harry Blackstone Sr. But
you believe in fate? Mental telepathy?
I believe in telepathy. Oh, yeah, very much. And you know, what's exciting now, because I'm just finishing my 21st book. I've written 21 books with the movie coming out and so forth. I guess it's the experiences that I've had around. I mean, who would have ever dreamt that a person like me would tour Saudi Arabia for almost 5.5 years? And the stories, and then to who would have ever dreamt that at age 18, a psychologist, Dr. Harold Hansen, he's gone now, tragically, but he came to me and said, young man, you're going to work in my office when you have time. I said, I don't have a degree yet. He said, that's all right. I worked for him for 8 years, and part of the scenes in the movie is how I stopped in time as one of his patients was about to murder both him and me, and how I did it is a story.
But you know, you tell so many great stories. You've helped so many people over the years, too.
Awesome. We have to give something back in life. I have a philosophy. I don't care who you are, would you give it back to your friends, family, or the public? And I owe to return something, and it's something that the public will know more about soon. In my career, as of 3 months ago, I've been called in on a total of 87 crime cases. I've only been able to help about a third. But we have to get
quite a few of them.
About a third.
No, I just have one final
I could talk to him for hours, but dare not read his thoughts. Oh my God, that's another story. If we can't laugh at ourselves today,
then who can, right?
We got to be able to laugh.
Now, I saw you on one of the greatest television shows in New York, the Joe Franklin show. And I saw you on his show many times. I was so happy as a kid watching you on Channel 9.
Joe Franklin, we had a special rapport. What people don't know, and you know, and some people they've revealed it now, I used to come and see him in his office. His office was wallpaper with books. And aside from the wallpaper of books, there were tables. They were books. But you brought up this man who spoke with simplicity but intrigue. If you brought up a title with stacks of books, he would reach for a book forth from the bottom and pull it out.
You know where it was.
One of the most remarkable men I've ever known in my life. And I mean that.
He was one of the greatest.
Very special, very special.
And a nice man, too.
Yes, he was a genuine man. We talked about broadcasting because my love, I have great admiration. I had a hero in my life who was probably the most powerful figure in the history of broadcast. Steve Allen, before he died, when he was writing his will, sent me a note that said, I want you to write his life. The fellow who was on 60 Minutes, the last few minutes every year, died last year. Got sarcastic things to say. Again, I'm not thinking of his name right now. He worked for the man, the most powerful person. And both of them said, Steve Allen, what have you, this man will be forgotten. Don't let it happen. The most powerful figure in the history of broadcasting. When I tell stories of this to kids that are studying communications in college, they say, tell us more. The man's name was Arthur Godfrey. And had the president and vice president during the Red Scare been assassinated, and when the Daily News got upset with me and said, this is hogwash, the research says, oh my God, had they been assassinated, it was decided one person would take over the country. It was Arthur Godfrey. And they found the discs that were to be put inside of Victrolas. All the discs said is, listen folks, this is Arthur. Just sit there until I come on live. No name. That's communications.
You know what?
Fascinates me.
You know what? What's fascinating? You're the amazing Kreskin, and I want to thank you very much for being on the Teddy Smith interview hour, half hour, and all those hours too.
Ted, in the spirit of broadcasting, I say this with the thousands of interviews I do. I'm not going to say goodbye. Let's just simply say to be continued.
And one final thing: do you like sushi?
I eat food. I'm Italian, Polish, but don't hold that against me. But my favorite dish is still spaghetti and meat sauce. My second favorite is spaghetti and meat sauce. My grandmother was a chef for a